Hey it's world, I am back with another video. Today I want to go over 7 different indie brands that I've tried over the years, used, and decided to let them go for various reasons. I know with the recent, big luxury deciding to increase their prices dramatically, and it has forced a lot of us consumers like myself to start exploring other indie brands that are out there that have quality pieces but are just, a little less well known. And I did release a video, which I'll link up above and below in the show notes, of 5 different indie brands that I've been looking at and have been, interested in purchasing. And maybe I've already purchased something, but, more to come on that. But if you haven't seen that video, if you want to go take a look at it, I think might open you up to some brands that might be interesting to you and for you to consider instead of giving your money to the big luxury like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, etc. Especially, with Chanel and Saint Laurent increasing their prices recently, especially for Chanel, with their quality control issues. There's a lot of indie brands that we are kind of sleeping on because they have really great quality pieces that, that would fit a more reasonable price range and budget. So kind of just diving right into it. Again, I do want to show a couple indie brands here just so you're not seeing my hands wave around, but I would hope for you to like and subscribe after watching this video if you are enjoying my content, but just getting right into So just jumping right into it, the first brand I want to talk about is Cuyana. Forgive me for my pronunciation. I have a tendency of mispronouncing a lot of names. I'm just gonna call it Cuyana. I had the clutch bag, which of course I'll pop some photos here as I'm talking and waving my hands around here. The first one is the clutch. I purchased this brand new on Poshmark and thought I was gonna use it for, work events and something not very flashy. When I received it, it basically looked like a cosmetic pouch. So I didn't really like that too much. The quality was excellent. It felt really sturdy. I didn't really use it. I bought it, took it around the house, and then decided to sell it. It was very simple looking, but then the more I looked at it, it just seems like a cosmetic pouch that would fit inside of an actual bag. It was very spacious. I was able to put all my essentials like, personal phone, work phone, and wallet, card holder, everything goes in there pretty nicely. But again, it wasn't the feel I was looking for when it comes to using it as a work clutch, going to dinners and whatnot. And I found out that I do like clutches, but I still really enjoy having a crossbody function to it. So I decided to let that go. The second Cuyana bag that I actually let go was the half circle bag. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason for me to let go of that bag, except that it was a little bit too heavy when I started putting stuff in there. It's basically a half moon circle, right? And basically anything I put in there, it just like kind of slides all into the middle. And I didn't enjoy that too much. Also, it didn't really stand on its own. So if I decided to put it on the chair next to me or, put it on the table, kind of rocked back and forth, where I was looking for something where it could stand on its own if I want to put it on the floor, which I don't usually put on the floor. But when it was a half circle bag, I ended up having to just like, if I were to say this is the circle bag, I would have to end up laying it here. And I would also have to make sure that the zipper was closed or else stuff was just going to fall out of it. So I used that maybe once or twice. It was really cute. I have no complaints about the aesthetics and the look of the bag and how you pair it. It's also a very casual bag when you look at the half circle moon bag. Very, not boho, but more casual, right? So it's not multifunctional in my opinion. So I decided to let that one go as well. The second brand was from Everlane. I know Everlane was all the rage a couple years ago with their, philosophy and how they want to make their products in an ethical way and make sure that they treat their employees well and source their materials ethically. So I did really like their ethos a lot. The only bag I ever bought was the Form bag. That one I bought on sale from Everlane when they were doing like their Thanksgiving or, semi-annual sale, whatever it was. So it wasn't an expensive bag. When I received it, the thing was like massive. And of course, you know, I am 5'8", so I'm pretty big and tall already. And for me to feel that that bag was so big on me and so long, it didn't, it just didn't feel right. The leather felt really structured. It was very nicely made. But then when I was touching it, I was like, yeah, this is gonna scratch super easily. So I didn't even use that bag. And the way it was designed, it was supposed to be a crossbody bag for you to be able to fit a laptop in there and everything. But it just, it didn't feel right. When I did put stuff in there, it felt like it was too heavy, and the way it was designed, it seems like it should be a smaller crossbody. So it was brand new. I decided to let it go. I sold it on Poshmark, lost a little bit of money, not too much since it was brand new, but it was a gorgeous bag. And then everything else from Everlane hasn't really piqued my interest very much, even though they go for the minimal aesthetic look, which I do like, very similar to Cuyana. If I had to pick who had the better quality, I'm going to definitely say Cuyana had the better quality materials and the better made bag, etc. But Everlane, I think they're trying. When I went to their website recently, most of them were actually polyester or nylon. They haven't been looking at too much leather bags recently. So I'm not sure where they're taking that particular category of their brand to. So that was number 2. Number 3 is Dagne Dover. When they first came out, I really, really liked their bags. I had a couple of them actually. The first one, I think it was the Simone satchel that I bought. And it was gorgeous. It was very different from anything that was out there. And they had like the grain leather, like this Pauline here. So it was very durable. I also got it in the oxblood color, so it was completely gorgeous. It came with one strap, and then it's like a laptop bag, right? You can put all of your work essentials in there. It looked really nice if you were going to a work meeting or a business trip. It looked really nice. But the thing that made me let go of it was the weight. The bag itself, I can't tell you how heavy it is, but if you were to put laptops, water bottle, which, you know, it clearly is designed to fit everything, it just got incredibly heavy. So after using it like maybe once or twice, I decided to let it go. And it was the same thing for the 15-inch tote. That was a gorgeous bag. It looked very functional, but if you like ever have used it, and I think they still sell the tote today, it is incredibly heavy. So again, that's another reason why I decided to let that go. The straps of it also, in my opinion, felt very plasticky, very structured. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but I decided to let that go because it didn't feel as high quality as the Simone satchel, but I know it was very popular for a lot of work people, but my shoulders were just like crying every time I used it. So I decided to let that go. I also got the clutch, never used it. I don't know. It was just, I was like in the hype of the Dagne Dover. It seemed very functional, but I just realized I'm not like the kind of clutch person ever. So that's obviously personal if you like clutches. It is a functional clutch, but sometimes these indie brands, if you think about it, they think of everything super functional, but then because there's too many things that make it like the most ultimate bag and the most functional bag, maybe for me, I like variety, so I don't want to be using the same bag for everything. Let me know if I'm crazy, but I don't want my bags to be used for, you know, date night, going hiking, going grocery shopping. I want to change up variety and have certain different aesthetics for different occasions. And some of these brands like Everlane, Cuyana, and Dagne Dover, and then a couple ones that I'm going to talk about in a second here, they want everything to be so functional that it becomes the ultimate one-person bag. Maybe if that's your personality and that's what you only want to spend money for, where you just have one bag for every occasion, then that probably is for you. But in my opinion, too many functionals equals, it's kind of like everything's great. But then because everything is great and you have a little bit of everything, it becomes average. Am I like insane for thinking that. I want some bags to have certain functionalities. Other bags have other certain functionalities. So I have variety so I can use it for different occasions. So anyways, enough of my rambling. I also had the Lola Pouch from the Dagne Dover. Again, super cute bag. It's fully leather, very well made. The zippers were really easy to, pull back and close and open. But again, it turned out to be heavy. If they were able to make the interior maybe fabric or something very durable, it might make the cosmetic bag a little bit lighter. Again, this is me packing it into my carry-on or perhaps packing a cosmetic case in my tote, that my personal item that I bring when I'm traveling. Every ounce counts. Like, I have a Tumi carry-on, and that thing is, I regret buying it, even though it was great. It's still very functional. You can turn it into an expandable check-in bag if you decide to go shopping too much or come back with too much stuff. But that thing is 11 pounds. So for me to have a cosmetic pouch that it's going to add to the weight unnecessarily, I remember almost breaking my back trying to get my Tumi with all of the, Dagne Dover cosmetic pouches, the Lola Pouch, I think it's what it's called. I was about to lift a carry-on over my head, and I was about to fall over because it was too heavy. Some guy had to catch it for me behind my head and then shove it into the overhead compartment. So weight is very important to me if you haven't noticed already. So that's number 3. Number 4 is Lowe & Sons. I think the only bag I purchased from them is the Pearl. So it's a really cute crossbody bag that, again, has a lot of functions, right? Because it has so many functions, it becomes unfunctional to me. It could turn it into a clutch. It could be a crossbody. If you shorten the strap, it could be a shoulder bag. And I ended up using that bag so often from every occasion that I got sick of it. There's nothing wrong with the bag. Again, it's very high quality. I even took it hiking in Colorado. That's how much I use that bag. So after that, I got kind of bored of that bag very quickly. And it's just a rectangular shape. So there's nothing earth-shattering about that particular bag. So the design was very simple, very minimalistic, very straightforward. But again, coming back to it, I got bored of that purse very quickly that I decided to let go of it. The 5th brand is something that I didn't even use. So Italic is a brand where they go out to all of the manufacturers of Prada, Miu Miu, or Celine, and then they use their manufacturers and design their own bags and have these manufacturers produce these bags for them. And the idea of it seems pretty fantastic, right? If these same manufacturers as these, different big luxury brands are producing these pieces with no logo on them, if you want something very simple and low key, great idea. So I ordered a tote thinking this is a good safe option. They had to send me 2 of them twice because the size of it was wrinkly, and both of them were wrinkly. So to advertise that these luxury pieces, big luxury brands use the same manufacturers for you to produce these pieces, it's like you expect to have the same quality bags as the Pradas and the Miu Mius and the Celines that you're advertising, right? So I was a little disappointed with that. I liked the concept, but they weren't able to execute. So I had to return that bag, and I never bought anything else from Italics, unfortunately. I had high hopes for them. So the 6th brand I wanted to briefly mention, I didn't buy too much from them, is Feed. I think it's a company based in New York or perhaps somewhere in the West Coast, I forget, but their whole philosophy is you buy one bag and it feeds, 65 starving children or whatnot. Great philosophy. I really resonated with me, and I thought it was a great idea. So I just purchased a couple of their bags. I got the tote here, and it says it had the Feed imprinted on there, but then I also bought it through Poshmark. So I was just like, I'm clearly not helping anybody here. So I just wanted the bag. Super cute, used it, nothing crazy. Quality was great. It wasn't too expensive. But again, I cycled that through pretty quickly. But if you think that that ethos resonates with you, definitely check out their bags because I think they do have great designs that are very functional and it's all going towards a great cause. The seventh one I want to talk about is the Samaras. The Samara tote is the one I have. I used it and then I sold it. And I think I got the Samara tote from, actually I didn't use it. I got the Samara tote through like a FabFitFun box or whatever that subscription that you use. And it came as one of them and it was super cute. So, I was like, oh, it's, quote unquote free as part of the subscription. And I do like Samara's story where they're, okay, so not to go on a rant here, but vegan leathers. Totally for it if you are a vegan person. But for me, I don't like to buy vegan leather if they're made from plastic. The quality's not as good, and two, you're contributing to the landfill with something that is made of plastic. And it takes forever to biodegrade, whatever. So for me, if I were ever to become vegan, I would still probably buy leather bags just because the rest of the world is still going to eat beef, right? Or eat animals. So might as well use their hides to make bags. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing I don't want to talk about and cause a whole entire ruckus. But if I were to get a vegan sort of leather, Samara uses apple leather, or I guess the process, if you want to read about it, they use apple peel, apple whatever to make the leather bags. To me, that's probably a better way to create something that is vegan as opposed to, leather bags and whatnot. As to how it holds up in the next 5-10 years, no idea. I think apple leather is relatively new. I know there's also cactus leather, so I don't know how that would age. So I can't really speak to that. So again, I just wanted to, do a quick video on indie brands that I've used over the years and sold and some of the reasons why. And I hope that helps you as you're exploring, some of these indie brands that are not part of big luxury. And it's a nice collection, right? So I've made a video on the Floron mini swan bag. If you haven't checked that out, definitely take a look at it. I've been really loving this bag. Probably will do a 6 months or year review on this particular bag, but you can see it's like, I use this, I don't take care of it, I don't baby it or anything, and it's still in like brand new condition. I got this one from another YouTuber's, influence, and I thought it was really cute. I actually have 2 of these. This one's for my friend for her birthday. I do have another one in gray, and this is a really awesome like leather bag with, 14K, 24K? I'm pretty sure it's 14K gold hardware, and it was pretty cheap, and this was from Alexis Bitar. I think she's a jewelry maker, so I think this is another great option if you want more of a clutch or something that goes inside your tote. Senrev, I know we all talked about that, and of course our beloved Pauline. These are all great indie brands, and these bags I'm definitely keeping. Won't be letting any of these go anytime soon. I hope this is helpful. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. I want to cover topics that will help you adult easier. Comment down below. Let me know what you want to hear about next. I have a lot of, purses and topics that I can definitely go over as I'm building my channel, but I want to make sure all of the content that I'm releasing or filming is relevant to you. I want to help you to save time and money so that you can live your best life and hopefully less than retail. See you next time.